we had no phone, we had no internet, no radio, no TV, no newspaper. We were in a bubble, but it was so beautiful because you get back to the basics of personal interaction. I remember being a child and like just crying in my room and being like, why is my life like this? I wouldn't change anything because it made me who I am, like, you know. But I still think there are things that I experienced that it shouldn't have had to experience, you know? Yeah.
Welcome to the Moontalks podcast, a space for cosmic connection, daily rituals, and expansive inspiration. Take a deep breath, tune in, and let's begin.
Hi, Bianca.
Hi.
Take number 2 because we already started actually. But yeah, I forgot to play on record. So here we are again.
Yeah, can happen.
Nice to welcome you back. And so welcome you to Moontalks. Thank you so much for being here. As I was saying, yeah, I'm following you since you won Miss Schweiz a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now I watched you, of course, during GNTM with my partner. We both always watch every week and rooting for you, of course. Yeah. And now having you sitting on the couch here in front of me, it's such a cool experience. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. Yeah.
Of course. So you just came back from Germany's Next Topmodel. You were there in a bubble, you were saying, and now back to reality. So how was adjusting to Switzerland again, to normal life?
Normal life or reality, I think it all is part of our normal life and reality. Because GNTM was my reality at that moment and Switzerland is my reality now, right? So it's different reality. But being back in Switzerland, it took me a few weeks to get used to the routine here in Switzerland again. Also, just it's so different. I mean, getting used to, you know, a different kind of work. Getting back to it's
and not having a crew or so many people living with you 24/7 probably.
Yeah, it's just a whole different thing. And the reason I did it was exactly for that reason, that it's a whole different thing. I need sometimes like I need change. I need something, I need different, some things in my life. And that was totally different. I mean, I love to challenge myself, and that was definitely a challenge.
Yes.
Many challenges. Challenge of living with people 24/7.
That you didn't know before.
That it's totally strangers. It's not like your friends or something. They're totally strangers. Younger. I love being with young people. I think that energy is that aliveness of that young energy. I love it, but it's still tiring. And then like the challenge of the things that we had to do, like the walk, the catwalks, the fashion shows, the photo shoots, those things. And and one thing that I also loved about it was exactly that digital detox that we had. So we had no phone, for the whole time. We had no internet, no radio, no TV, nothing.
Newspaper? Or even
no newspaper. We were in a bubble, but it was so beautiful because you get back to the basics of personal interaction. Like we would play card games again, you know, or like we would play like games with each other, which super cool games that I would like. Wow, this is so much fun, and you wouldn't have that if you're stuck on your phone or watching TV or whatever, you know. So it was actually quite nice.
Did you also read tarot cards during, or was not a?
I brought my cards.
Really?
Yeah, I did. But with like one or two girls, you know, just in a small circle and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, a lot of people, a lot of stress, I can imagine, during this time. How did you find time for you to ground yourself?
Yeah. We had a little space for exercise, like a separate room. So every morning, I would get up a little bit earlier before everyone else, and I would go down and do my practice, my yoga, my workout, my stillness or meditation or whatever it was that I felt that morning. every morning I would go down and do it. And most of the time I was alone, maybe one or randomly two, but maybe one other girl would come for a few minutes. But so that was my time. And everyone knew that I was always there in the early morning. And that really helped me to stay grounded throughout the whole time. Yeah.
I can imagine. Did somebody ask for advice about grounding or?
There were a few people who would ask about yoga. I helped a few people with some yoga during the time, or about breathing, about stretching, about mindset. There's one girl, Yulia, who I became good friends with, she got the makeover with the long white hair. Yeah. We were really close, and we would talk about, things, and she was very open also to spirituality. And so it was nice to be able to share that with someone. Yeah.
Yeah, especially she had very, very dark phase in your life. I followed her story.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. And what is maybe your go-to small ritual, especially during stressing time, just to ground yourself? Just 5 minutes. What's your go-to?
Yeah, for example, I brought during the GNTM time, I brought my Palo Santo. I brought some crystals, and I brought a small, tiny gong, like a bowl, like a Japan. It's from Japan. It's really small, but it's very powerful, and it's a sound bowl, just a very small one. So I brought those things. And I had them beside my bed. So either in the morning or in the evening before I went to bed, whenever I would take my 5 minutes and just light my Palo Santo and meditate with the crystal and do the little gong. Yeah, just super, super fast, but there. Yeah.
And do you have a favorite crystal, actually?
I have many crystals. many crystals at home. But I say my go-to, if I'm traveling and I can just take one, it's gonna be the Bergstein.
Okay.
Bergkristall. Yeah.
I'm more the amethyst girl, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a shield.
Yeah.
Yes, and maybe back to GNTM or modeling. Yeah, you were already modeling a long time ago, and then you took a break.
Yeah.
Why you needed a break, and why did you come back, actually?
Yeah. When I started modeling when I was 14, and then I Miss Switzerland when I was 24, and then I modeled until about 30 years old, and then I took a long break. Yeah. So back then, the stress to be skinny was so high. There was no other chance. If you wanted to be a model, you had to be skinny. That was it. And I did that.
Tall and skinny.
Yeah, tall and skinny. Exactly.
Symmetric face.
Exactly. And I did that. And I managed to make myself fit that for a long time. But then eventually I got tired of doing all the things to make myself look skinny all the time. And then I just took a break and relaxed. And then the last few years, I have been observing that the model industry has kind of changed a little bit in the last few years.
Thanks God.
Thank the Lord. Really, really thank the Lord. There's more space for petite models. There's more space for curvy models. There's more space for older models. There's more space for just more diversity, and I really loved that. And that's why I decided to come back. Yeah. Because modeling as itself, as a job, I always loved it. It was always something that I enjoyed. It was always something that I loved to do.
What do you enjoy exactly of being a model?
Yeah. I love being on stage, Catwalk, fashion shows. I love being on stage. It's like performing. It's like you're acting almost, you know? Because when you're on stage, even if you're in a fashion show and you're just walking straight with a neutral facial expression, you're still acting because you're acting neutral. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I just love that aspect of it. And even if you're doing a photo shoot, it's the same thing. You're acting. You're taking on roles. You're taking on characters, and I find that fun. Yeah,
I can understand it. Also, a little bit the kick, the nervosity to perform, right?
Yeah.
So as a figure skater, I was telling you, was a figure skater also a long time ago.
Yeah.
To be there on the ice and just showing yourself, also showing a story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, and then between this, so in this break, modeling break, you did also a lot of things. From florist, if I recall correctly, you wrote a book, and now
2 books.
2 books. Sorry, 2 books.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just have one, but I need to check on the second one. So what was the idea? Did you at the need like to find yourself, or you are, or refound yourself?
When I was doing all those other things in between.
Yes. Or what was that?
I love to do so many different things.
Yeah.
I have so many interests. Even now, like I have so many interests or things that I would love to try. I was also like a nanny, a private nanny for a short time. But back then when I stopped modeling, I thought, okay, I want to find a stable job, kind of, you know. And in Switzerland, you have to have like a education for a certain job. You can't just like, I don't know, you can't just like go and work somewhere. You know what I mean? Like in Switzerland, you have to have like a certificate or whatever to work in a certain place. So I was like, okay. And so I studied psychology when I was in Canada. But at that time, my bachelor's degree wasn't recognized here because at that time they hadn't had the Bologna system here in Switzerland. So
I see.
And I didn't feel like going back to university for another 5 years. So I was like, no. So I just thought about different things that I enjoy to do. And then the thing with the florist, that was kind of random. Like,
well, I mean,
that was I was sitting with my partner at the time and he was like, well, what do you like? Like, what kind of things do you like? And I'm like, I love colors. Like, I love like just general colors. I love nature. I like being in nature, like plants, and I love the forest, and I love creating stuff like with my hands, like, you know. And then he was like, well, that could be like a florist, and I was like, oh, I don't know, is there such a thing? Like, is there a school for that? I don't know. I had no idea at the time. So that kind of led me in that direction. And then I did the training for the florist. But when I think about it now and I think back, I should have done like fashion design, because that is like still one of the things that I would really interest me and that I would really love to do. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it now?
I might, maybe I will.
Maybe we see soon a fashion show with your clothes.
Yeah. I actually am working on something at the moment, but actually I was supposed to launch it last fall, but then because of the GNTM, I couldn't because I had to be away. So, but there is something in the background.
Oh my God! Now I'm
happening.
excited.
Kind of waiting to be birthed.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that dream has always been there. So now, yeah.
So nice that you're still pursuing it.
Yeah, of course.
And about your books, what was
the first book? Which book? Do you know the
first one?
The first one.
Yep.
So the biography book. Yeah. So that happened like just shortly after Miss Switzerland, and you know, I had like all these people coming to me and being like, "Oh wow, you're so privileged, you know, you have this amazing life, and you know, you're Miss Switzerland and you can do all these cool things and have all these nice clothes and blah 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 blah." And I was like, if only you knew where my story, where I come from, you know, like it's not just like I had to work freaking hard, you know, to get to where I was. But there were many people who really didn't see that. They just saw this like
the facade,
the glitz and the glamour of a moment of being Miss Switzerland, you know. And I was like, and then I thought about it for a while, and I was like, you know what? I really want to share my story of the difficulties that I had in my life, and to also to be it like a motivation, like, hey, you know, you don't have to stay in this situation. Like, whatever you come from, it's hard, and it is possible to get out of it and to create a different life for yourself. You know, that was the motivation to write that book. And I wrote it myself. I wrote it in English. and then got it translated, and it came out like, I don't know, within like 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was on the computer. It was like, it just like came out.
Was it also healing, probably?
I knew that was going to come because many people like, was it therapeutic for you? Not so really,
No.
because I had done a lot of self-work before writing it.
You did needed to go again in each situation and re-see it. Or
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of therapy before writing the book. You know what I mean? So, so it wasn't really like a therapeutical thing. But what was interesting was that was like, my thoughts were like, when I was done and I was like ready to be published, I was like, oh wow, like, am I ready for so many people to know all these bits about me? Like all these like, you know, like
very personal
very
stuff.
personal and not so nice things about my life. Like, am I ready for that? Like, am I ready for a stranger on the street to come up to me and be like, hey, blah, 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 you know? And then I was like, yes. And then when it came out, the response was like so positive from so many people, like, wow, thank you for sharing, because, you know, like, I've experienced this and that and whatever, and could relate. So many people could relate to many parts, or, you know, and thanking me for, like, you know, being someone in the public eye who's just like, hey, this shit happens, you know, and, you know.
And you can overcome it.
You can overcome it, you know. Yeah.
If you look back, was there a very particular time in your life, very negative, when you were thinking, oh my God, how in the hell I will overcome this shit? Sorry for
many times in my life.
Yeah.
Many times in my life, also from childhood until a few years ago, you know, like, yeah, I remember being a child and like just crying in my room and being like, why is my life like this? Like, between the ages of like 10 and 16, I mean, a 10-year-old shouldn't have to cry in her room and say, why is my life like this? You know what I mean? But I remember having those moments of just crying and be like, why do I have to have a like life like this? Why can't I just have a normal family, a normal, you know,
happy family, happy childhood?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I can very much relate to this. Yeah. And to be a child, but I think you can also understand when I say to be still already a grown-up person and taking care of others in the family, taking care of the parents, and not allowing yourself to be a child and to go and play with others because you're carrying so much within you. It's something that you carry with you the whole life afterwards. But at the end, it made us the strong person we are today. So
yeah,
yes,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. But there were still things that I experienced as a childhood that I wouldn't change anything because it made me who I am, like, you know. But I still think there are things that I experienced that it shouldn't have had to experience, you know. Yeah.
But for me, what was healing was to say, okay, I mean, we choose. I believe we choose the family we want to be born in.
Yeah.
And then, they just did the best they could.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, it was just how it was, or is still how it is. All those maybe people doing mistakes in their life, they just don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I kind of screw Bianca's life today. No. They have their own shit going on. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And I never I love my parents. I love my mom. I love my dad for who they are, you know. They're like, you know, and I have no hard feelings. I have no grudges against my parents. Because I, just like you said, I know they did the best they could at that moment with what they had. And yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't change anything, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now you have your own practice, doing spiritual work, if I may call it like that.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean, spirituality, for you, if I may ask?
Mm-hmm.
First of all.
Yeah. I mean, I think spirituality for me means to realize, to connect, and to understand and work with your own spirit. That's what it means. It doesn't mean anything else. It's not woo woo or whatever. It's it's
Exactly.
we all have a spirit. We all have, a soul, and it's work with the soul. For me, that's what spirituality is. Yeah.
And when was your first, or what were your first steps into spirituality?
Mm-hmm.
When you wake up and say, okay, maybe there is something else besides this rational, materialistic world.
Yeah. Since I was a child.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't know at the time, like when I was a child, I didn't know the word spirituality or, about the, but I don't know, I would talk to the plants, or I would talk to, my dolls, and I would talk to nothing in the room,
Yeah.
When I was like, I don't know, I was super young. I was creating vision boards when I was like 5 years old. I don't know, like things like that even. But because of the difficulties that I had in my childhood, I was always very like, there has to be a higher meaning. There has to be a higher purpose than what is here on this materialistic world. Like I was always asking the questions like, what else is out there? Like, what is the purpose of our life? And what is my purpose? Since I was a little.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And my mom just like, she was very super chill about it. She was just like, she would just talk to me about she would ask me about my ideas or whatever, she was super open. And since I was little, I used to see spirits.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that was, since I was a child, that was something that I was very, always present.
Was there a time where you denied yourself to see, or it was always an embracing of possibilities?
It's hard to say. Like I never denied it, but I didn't understand for a long time.
Yeah.
And so there were times where I got afraid because I didn't understand. Like no one in my family could explain that kind of those realms to me. I know now that there are many people in my family that are very aware of those realms. But when I was
my next question,
yeah, for sure, yeah, exactly. But when I was a child, I didn't know that, and they didn't talk to me about those things. I talked to my mom, like I saw this, figure, and she didn't. She accepted it, but she didn't like delve deeper into it. So there were moments where I was like, what is that? Like I would get afraid, but I didn't deny it. I just didn't understand for a long time. Yeah.
I can imagine also being a child, and back then you didn't have also Google.
Yeah.
Or maybe a lot of books like we have nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I can really just imagine, because for me it started everything a couple of years ago, actually, because I came from a very, very rational family, a rational path, etc., and always denied there was something else. And then life happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I met my very first spiritual guide.
Mm-hmm.
And then this realm was wide open for me. I also started to see spirit things. Yeah. I actually before I was working with tarot, I worked as a channeler and medium.
Yeah.
But I was, back then I was like 32, and already for me to cope with this new reality and also being followed, I cannot imagine how a child could cope with it without understützung, without how do you say, support.
Yeah. I mean I think my parent, I didn't really talk to my dad about that. It was mostly my mom. I think she just didn't know how to support me. Not that she was scared or denied, but I think she just didn't know what to do. I don't know, like, what do you say to it? I don't,
Überfordert in German, like a little bit.
yeah, overwhelmed probably with how to support me. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really asked her. I will ask her about that the next time we talk. Like, how she felt when I told her I see this figure, or I see this person there, or whatever, I'm going to ask her next time.
Does she have this ability?
Her ability is dreams.
Oh.
She has had many dreams that are coming true after, which I also have. That runs in the family. That the dreams, how do you say, there's a word for it, like,
I know what you mean. It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clairvoyant dreams. Clairvoyant dreams. She has it. I have it. Also, but yeah, she doesn't see figures. She doesn't see spirits. No, she would have told me about that.
No.
Yeah.
And now, how is your work now with spirituality?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I kind of went. In the beginning, I went the yoga route. Yoga, meditation, those kinds of things. Now I still enjoy that. Like, I still enjoy teaching the yoga and teaching, that. But I much more enjoy leading people in courses. Like, we do a teacher training in our studio.
Mm-hmm.
And that is for me very fulfilling, because we can go really deep, we have months of meeting each other over weekends. And then I know, like, yoga teacher training, it's like, there's like so many yoga teacher trainings, and I'm like, whatever. But our teacher training is different. We do a lot of energy work in our teacher training. And then that's where I bring in my spirituality and my connection to the other realms and those kinds of things. And I bring that into our teacher training and share that with people in our course. And they love it. They're like, so I like, because many people who come to our trainings, they're not really familiar with this kind of energy work, or like aura, and like reading energy, feeling energy, working with energy with other people, and and then we do these exercises, and they're like blown away of what they can do,
mm-hmm.
of the possibility, their own power, and that's what I really enjoy. Like, sharing this spiritual this work with people. That's what really I enjoy. Yeah.
I see your energy also changed the moment you started to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, because we really need more people actually like you, and then your students.
And it's so crazy, because so many people are like, energy is energy, and then you talk about energy work, and you're like, and then I'm like, no, just trust me, like, just trust the process. And then we do these exercises, and they're like, people who don't even believe in things like that, and then we do it because part of our program, it's like, and then they're like, what did we just do? Like, what did I just do? Like, the person is like, what did I just do? And it's very emotional. And then like emotions, crying, or like, because they just surprise themselves. And I love that, when you can like open the door to people who have no belief, no idea, or just no concept of this kind of, spiritual work. And then to see that transformation, and to see their whole world like change, and they're like, oh my God, like, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was there or maybe it had happened many times, where you felt, okay, no, he or she's not in the right place?
In that kind of work, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Or it's not the right time? Because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah. And I think also this kind of work needs responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The thing is, when we do it, because our training goes over many months, so I kind of guide them slowly in that direction that we're going. So it's not like you come from 0 to 100 in terms of like working with energy, you know. We take time, and so by the time we're doing these kind of exercises,
They already did some.
they're already like, you know, yeah.
Or did somebody ever drop, like saying, "Oh my God, this is too much for me"? No? Okay, beautiful. Actually, beautiful.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
To see these, like, what the heck we just do, like, really. Yeah. And I think the people who are maybe like in the beginning a little bit skeptical, once they see and they do, and they're like, they show themselves, they prove to themselves what's possible. It's like they can't, the skepticism is gone because they just showed themselves their own power of what they can do, you know? Yeah.
And also see, actually, there is no limitation to that.
The what?
There is no limitation to that power.
Yeah.
There is always this irrationality that comes in between, right?
Yeah.
It's so, for me, it's still a little bit difficult to cope with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, Moonhub is a response for me, having this big rational side and this new discovered spirituality, so that you see you can combine both, actually.
Absolutely. And that is like, that you can combine both. I love that, because so many people are like, well, you know, spiritual people have to look a certain way, have to dress a certain way, have to eat a certain way, have to like not have certain things, or you know what I mean? And I'm like totally against that. I'm like, no, you can be spiritual and wear freaking high heels and whatever kind of clothes you want. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, I'm into that.
Yeah, and it's like, you can be spiritual and drink wine and whatever. It doesn't have, like, it's, you know, those kind of like, you
should probably not drink wine before you do a breath work or whatever.
Of course. But like, you can have both. You can do.
You should.
And yeah, exactly. I think like, and I always tell people like, that is part of our human experience also. Like we are both. We are spiritual beings and we come from spirit and we are spirit, but we are also human. We are also like physical matter, and we're put on this earth also to experience this physical matter. So we are both, and we should experience both. And yeah, I'm sure you agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Working with this always. But I'm telling people, like, for example, if they book me for tarot readings, they maybe expect somebody, looking a certain way.
Exactly.
And what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, you don't look like like, what does a tarot reader look like?
Exactly.
Or like a healer. It's like, you don't look like it. What does a healer look like? Like, really? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So please, people, let's verabschieden, let's say goodbye to all those beliefs about spirituality. Yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
Back to this very public figure with Germany's Next Top Model. How do you cope with it? Because I can imagine, especially in Switzerland, you are very prominent, and then when you step back, people are like very chill, and then now you're back on the Rampenlicht, back on the spotlight. How is it for you? Are people recognizing you in the street, stopping you again?
Yeah, it's, you know, when I did this JNTM, I really didn't know what to expect from outside people, but I really didn't care in the beginning, you know. But the response has been so lovely, so positive, you know. People recognize me on the street. Many times they'll come up to me and they'll say something nice to me, you know, whatever it may be, or you were like, you know, give me a compliment or just share a few words, just exchange a few words. Sometimes they won't, but I know that someone recognized me, and you know, like, you know exactly when people are like, oh, that's Bianca, you know, like that. Also in Germany, like when I'm in Germany now, I have many times in Germany for different things now. also people recognize me, and the Germans are way more open. They're like, they come up to you and they're like, they talk to you. And so, yeah, I'm recognized and stuff, but it doesn't bother me at all, actually. Like there was this beautiful lady who wrote to me over Instagram. She said, my daughter saw you in the city, but she was afraid to speak to you because she didn't know if she could, like, come up to you and talk to you. So the mother wrote to me over Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, tell your daughter if she sees me, she could come up anytime. It doesn't matter, Like, I'm very open to receiving people, like, and if I have time, I'll take the time to, like, exchange a few words. I appreciate it. It's something that is not selbstverständlich to be a public person, and I think it comes with a responsibility also. And I appreciate when people come up to me and want to say a few words, and I will give them time if I can, if they're polite.
Of course.
So
hopefully everybody's polite.
Yeah, it's not something that bothers me. It's something that I respect also and appreciate. That I take it as a gift, actually, to be in the position that I can be. Yeah. Because I think being in that position, I have the opportunity to share my message.
And which is
like all the things we talked about. Like, beauty has different shapes and sizes and ages, which is spirituality has different shapes and sizes and ages. And I believe in authenticity, and I that's part of all those things are part of the things that I want to send, like, to the message. Is my message, I have many messages, actually. I have many messages.
Even better.
Yeah. And then I think being a public person, I appreciate that I am, because then I can use it to spread those messages out, So if people come to you on the street, go for it.
Does it come with expectation, being a public figure for you?
For me, no. I can walk on the street with no makeup. I do it many times.
Yeah.
I walk on the street with no makeup, with a baseball cap or without a baseball cap. I walk on the street with jogging pants and jogging sweater. Like, for me, it's like I walk on the street how I want to, how I feel. Yeah. And if I'm wearing makeup, it's not because I think I have to. It's because I like dressing nice too.
So you do it for yourself.
I do it for myself, or I love jewelry, or I do it for myself because I like the way it looks, not because I think I have to, because I'm a public person or something, So expectations, I don't know. The expectation that I think I put on myself is to be an authentic person if I'm a public figure.
And what do you mean with authentic?
Like being how you are, like going to the store in your jogging pants if you feel like it, or like, not having those expectations. That's the only expectation, to be authentic, or if I have an opinion, I will say that opinion, Of course, the limit is injuring other people. That is, the limit. But I think authenticity, that's for me super important. Like, yeah.
Still, I think it's still very hard to find very authentic people that you really, I don't know. Because for me, authenticity. Oh my God, this
in
word.
German, it's so hard.
Yeah. Authentizität.
Yeah.
It comes with a big understanding of who you are, of mirroring yourself over and over again, and taking away all those masks, all those bullshit we tell each other every day, especially ourselves, not others, ourselves.
Yeah. At the same time, I think going through that process of understanding who you are and being able to be authentic in that process is also part of the process. It's like, yeah, it's life. And it's like, maybe a few years ago I was this person. That is so fine. And now maybe I'm this other person, and that is also fine. And just to be like, yeah, that's fine. We change,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
We change, we make mistakes.
yeah, and to be like, hey, yeah, I was totally shitty in that situation. I'm sorry about that, you know?
To say sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I know that I didn't do that very nicely, or, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, who are we? You said something like who we are, to understand who we are. But in that process of understanding who we are, to be authentic in that also.
Somebody asked me once, do we really know who we are?
Mm-hmm.
That was like, that's also a good question, because we are changing.
Always changing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
And I think that's totally fine. Like, that's part of the thing that I have done so many different jobs in my lifetime until now. And some people, you know, have different opinions about that. But I'm like, no, that's part of like finding out who I am.
Yeah.
And that's part of expressing the different sides of myself, expressing my different interests and talents and whatever. Like, that is part of who I am, you know?
love the message. Love the message. Especially, I think in Switzerland, you have this expectation. You grow up, you go, you study.
You stay in one job for 20 years.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. And then you get your pension, goodbye, arrivederci, and then you die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think life is so much more than that.
So much more. It's like so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have so much more than that within ourselves.
Yes.
Like, we have so many interests. If you think about how many in this and this and this and this. So go for it.
Yes.
Like, that's why we're here, you know?
Go try, and yeah, at the end, if you really find something that speaks to you, you will find your way also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also actually wanted to study fashion when I was a girl.
Yeah.
But then, my parents were like, oh my God, how will you do money with that? Everybody's doing fashion. And then, of course, I wanted to prove something. I went to the high school where I saw you, I think, a couple of years ago in the auditorium doing, I think you did a presentation, but I don't remember, just remember your face. Or your name. But so I went there, I studied, I went through, I worked in corporate for so long, actually till December.
Like now, December, like past
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Yeah, December, and now 100% Moonhub. This is actually what I want to do the rest of my life. So let's see, maybe tomorrow I come up with another. Okay, my partner is already killing me. But no, so I think at the end, it's so important that you are authentic. You find what you love and you just go for it. So you can say, okay, at least I tried.
Exactly. Rather, at least I tried than what if.
Yeah. What if? And we have, I think, enough what if in this life.
In other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're a strong woman. So, I mean, I perceive you like a very strong woman. How do you get this strength, actually, of course, from your past? But I'm sure I can imagine there are some times where you think, or where you don't feel so strong. So where do you get your strength?
This sounds so simple, but it's not simple, but it's something that I think has really saved me. Like, and I can really say that is movement.
What do you mean with
movement? Moving my body.
Okay.
Yeah. Is one thing that has really just got me through really dark times. Even when I didn't feel like moving, like didn't feel like even getting out of the bed, I would just force myself to get on my yoga mat or just move, stretch my body, just move. And it's proven, scientifically proven, that it actually is an antidepressant, is a natural antidepressant movement. And now it makes sense, because I'm like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense, you know, because it really saved me. It really took me through times that I thought I wouldn't make it through, where I forced myself to move. And just knowing, or I shouldn't say just because it's not just, but knowing that there is a that's not that there is a purpose for me that hasn't been fully expressed yet, I would say. Yeah. And there was a time where I thought, like, what is even the point anymore to be on this earth in physical matter? Like, really?
Like I can very much relate.
You can relate. Yeah.
When you think, what the
Like,
hell
what's
I'm
the
doing
point?
here? Yeah.
Like,
I'm just suffering. And
exactly.
every day is and
Yeah.
it doesn't get better. It gets even worse.
Exactly.
And worse.
Exactly. And even through those days, I made myself move in my living room. And then I remember, like, halfway through just moving, like, just like moving, like, my back, just like this, I would cry and I would just let it out and cry. And then I would keep going. And then I would. And I think that, like, pushing through really came from when I was a child, because I always had to push through. Like, it's kind of like what I did all my life. I don't know. It sounds really bad, but
No, I can very much relate.
That's like how I learned to be, from out of necessity, out of survival when I was a child. I had to keep going. There was no other choice. I had to, like, move and and take action and do something. So it's like it's ingrained in my programming.
This resilience
to keep going.
Yeah.
And even after so many years of, like, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep
It's
going,
so tiring,
it's
right?
like, and it's so tiring. And then, comes that moment of, like, what is the freaking point anymore? But it's just like, I don't know, it's a programming.
Does it get better?
I've come to the point of, like, who says that life is always supposed to be happy? Like, is life always supposed to be happy? I don't think so. It's our goal. It's our goal. Our goal, we strive to be happy because
they told us so, probably.
It's because before we're born in the physical body, we are spirit, we are soul, right? And in that dimension, we are love. And love is happiness, right?
Yes.
So that is where we come from. We come from eternal love and we come from eternal happiness, right? So when we come on this physical earth, that is what we strive. We're longing for it because that is what we are in that dimension.
It's home.
It's like home. So we're striving for that happiness. We're striving for that home. But we made an agreement to be in the physical body. And the physical body experience is not always happiness and bliss, right? So I've come to that realization of, like, part of the experience of being on earth in this physical body is to go through all of these trials and tribulations and difficulties. It's part of, I made an agreement to be here. And like you said, we choose our parents when we were born. We also make an agreement before we're born. We could choose our parents. We also make an agreement of what our life will be like.
Yeah.
Right. So I actually, like, signed a contract of, like,
what did I do?
Exactly. And sometimes I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Like, I really signed it, like, Bianca, why? Why did you say I want to go through this and this and this and this and this, So I truly believe that our life is here to experience all of those nasty things that, come in life. And it's like, it goes through phases. We go through phases of hardship and difficulties, and then we go through phases of, like, bliss, right? And I believe that's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, probably also in this dimension, we couldn't experience happiness without experiencing sadness and guilt, etc., because I think in this life we have light and darkness, we have the positive and the negative, etc. It's always a duality. So there is no thing without the very opposite one.
Yes.
So
And because we come from love and we come from light and happiness, we have that experience already.
Yeah.
So we come on this earth to evolve. And the only way we can evolve is to experience all those other things, to experience the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the grief. If we wouldn't experience that, we wouldn't evolve.
Yeah.
And so we go through this experience, we experience all those, the human experience, we experience all those things, and then we can go back. And then when we go back, our souls have evolved into higher souls. That's
Hopefully.
part of it, for 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you could still pull the plug and go earlier.
But they don't evolve.
Exactly, and then probably also you always think, oh my God, then I should come back. It's like in a video game where you die and you start from the beginning.
Exactly.
Do you really want to start again?
Yeah, people who pull their own plug, they don't escape.
Yeah.
They still, those things, the reasons that they pull the plug, they still have to go through that evolution at some point or another. So it hasn't changed. It hasn't taken that away. It's just prolonged it, sadly enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, death, it's such another very completely other topic. I mean, you have also people, and here in Switzerland we have exit. So but I think many times, not all the times, but many times life gives us always problems we can solve. So whatever the pain is, whatever the shitty situation is, there is something better waiting. And in that moment, it's like, what the hell? What the hell do you want to show me, universe, please?
Yes.
But then, in a couple of months or even years, you will see, okay, I'm evolved from that. And
exactly.
This is actually what keeps me going.
Exactly. Yeah.
So something better is coming. I promise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have it tattooed on my foot. Everything has purpose.
Yeah.
Because that's my life motto. It's like everything that happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it all has purpose. And we might not realize it until years later, but it all has purpose for our evolution. Yeah.
Yes. So let's stick to the plan, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bianca, thank you so much for being here today. It was such a beautiful conversation, and we talked about so many things.
Yeah.
And it was so fulfilling also for me.
Thank you also so much. Yeah, it was really nice. We could talk I'm sure we could talk for hours together.
Probably yes, but I don't think the people watching us.
No. I mean,
at the time.
Yeah.
But maybe for a second episode.
Yeah.
After the launch of whatever you launch. Maybe I give a small fashion show at Moontalk.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
But so excited to see whatever will come from you.
Thank you so much. It was really, really pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bianca.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Yes.